So what if I told you that one of the absolute shortest letters ever written actually holds a major key to balancing love and truth? We're about to dive into 2 John. It's basically a single page of ancient mail that delivers this incredibly urgent message, one that's packed with joy, a really stark warning, and a dilemma that's just as relevant for us today as it was 2,000 years ago.
Right off the bat, the letter opens with this super personal and warm greeting. The author just calls himself the elder, and he's writing to a noble sister and her children. Now, we don't know for sure if she's a real person or maybe a code name for an entire church community, but what's absolutely crystal clear is the deep affection in his words. It just sets this tone of genuine care from the very first sentence.
And that warm opening is what makes the letter's central puzzle so interesting. You can seriously read the whole thing in like 2 minutes, but its message is so potent. On one hand, it's celebrating this community that's walking in truth and love, but on the other hand, it sounds this piercing alarm about a threat that could undo all of that good work.
So, before he gets to the alarm, the author starts by building up the community's foundation. He wants to be really clear about what makes them so special in the first place. And it all boils down to these 2 ideas that are totally woven together: truth and love.
And let me tell you, he is genuinely thrilled. But why? Well, as he says in verse 4, it gave him great joy to see some of your children walking in the true way, even as we were ordered to do by the Father. So for him, seeing people actually live according to the truth, that's not just a good thing, it's a source of real, profound happiness.
And this is where you can really see his logic click into place. For him, truth and love aren't these 2 separate categories. Truth is the core command they got from the Father, and love, well, that's just the active practice of living out that command. They're basically 2 sides of the same coin. You just can't have one without the other.
Okay, so this raises a really important question, right? If the community is doing so well, if they're so grounded in truth and love, what's the problem? Why the need for such an urgent, almost jarring warning?
Well, it's because that strong foundation is under attack. The author reveals that a number of false teachers have gone out into the world, and their message is a direct assault on the very truth this community is built on. And the author is incredibly specific about this threat. This isn't some minor disagreement. The absolute core of the false teaching is denying that Jesus Christ came in the flesh, as a real physical human being. To the author, this just strikes at the very heart of the faith. He uses the strongest language he possibly can, calling a person like that a false teacher and antichrist. For him, this was no friendly debate. This was a fundamental crisis of truth. All right, so how are they supposed to respond? The author doesn't just point out the problem. He gives them a really clear 2-part strategy to guard the truth they hold so dear.
The instructions are super direct. First, it's an internal focus. Keep watch over yourselves. It's a call for self-awareness, for vigilance. And second, there's a doctrinal anchor. Keep to the teaching of Christ. The defense isn't about inventing something new, but about holding on tight to what they've known from the very beginning. And the stakes here? They could not be higher. You can tell the author is deeply invested in this community. He's basically telling them, hey, watch out so you don't lose everything we've worked for, so that you can get your full reward. There's this real sense that their spiritual progress and even their ultimate reward are on the line. He presents the choice they're facing in these stark black and white terms. To go on from the teaching, to try and innovate or move beyond that core truth, that means losing your connection with God. But to stay, to keep to the teaching, well, that means having a real relationship with both the Father and the Son. He draws the line with absolute clarity. There's no gray area. Okay, now we get to the most challenging and, frankly, practical instruction in the entire letter. How should they actually interact with these false teachers when they come knocking? The answer is, well, it's pretty severe. I mean, this is a shocking command, isn't it? Especially coming from an author who just spent the first half of the letter talking all about love. He tells them, point blank, do not offer them hospitality. Don't even give them a greeting. It's a command to draw a hard, unmistakable boundary. So what's the reason? Well, the logic is just as direct as the command. To the author in this very specific situation, hospitality isn't a neutral act. Giving a platform or even just a simple welcome to someone spreading this destructive teaching is seen as a form of partnership. It means you're taking a part in his evil works. After delivering such a hard-hitting warning, the author makes one last pivot. He reminds them of his ultimate purpose, and it goes way beyond just defense and doctrinal purity. And this, I think, is the crucial point.
Despite the incredibly severe warning, the letter's ultimate destination is joy. The author is just longing to see them in person, to talk face to face, and it's for one specific reason, so that your joy may be full. The goal isn't just protection. It's a complete, shared joy that's rooted in personal connection and unwavering truth.
And that really leaves us with the central tension of this tiny but powerful letter, a question that is just as real for us today as it was 2,000 years ago. In a world that's just full of competing ideas, this ancient text forces us to ask, how do we practice a radical kind of love while also fiercely protecting the truth that we believe is essential?